matter how much, we are diminished as an individual voter in terms of influencing government's outcome, when you put the masses together, I mean, we are the real people here. We are the ones that affect public interests, that drive corporate interest, because if we boycott, you know that they're going to change their ways. That's happened in the past. But yeah, that's why I will be voting. But the issues that are most important necessarily to our town would mostly be in terms of infrastructure, child care provision, as well as after school programs. We have a lot of kids that are out on the streets doing things that they shouldn't be doing, that they never did in the past even. That's another thing that's concerning to our local community. As for our state, right now I am aware that there are a lot of tuition discussions going on in the state legislature. There's also a lot of discussion on bargaining rights, collective bargaining, trade unions, legalization of marijuana is another thing, which I don't know why is so important. I mean, but yeah, I won't dwell into that too much. I won't dwell into specifics, but that's what I know and have been reading on lately.
Okay, what do you look for for a presidential candidate? Do you like any of the current lineup of the presidential candidates for 2016? Which ones and why?
Quite frankly, I don't look at the face. I do not look at the face. I look at the eyes. If this is a man or woman that the country can put trust into and just know is genuine and actually wants to at least change the system, at least a little bit, if I can tell that, that's a candidate I tend to go for. However, they must make sure that they are reflecting upon my views, because I'm not saying my views represent everybody else's, and because my views may not be applicable to somebody else's and my needs as well. So as an individual, however, I would prefer someone that reflects my platform and what's made this country work. I look at the experience, see what they've done with the experience. I look past the titles and ask the question, what'd you do with it? That's my main thing, is were they proactive? Were they exemplary of what a public servant should be? So yeah, that's basically what I would look at in a presidential candidate. However, in terms of the upcoming election, I'm seeing nothing of stellar performance. People aren't excited about this election as much as they were in 2008, and it might be because you had two minorities running at once in the same election in the Democratic primary back in the day, but I'm not seeing many people actually happy with this election, because there's a monopoly really on the Democratic side, and at the Republican side we're seeing people that are from totally different ideologies that have no sense or no record other than Rand Paul on consensus and bipartisanship, with the exception of a simple resolution, which means nothing to me. But there's no bipartisanship or no consensus over policy that is outstanding within the current lineup of the 2016 Republican nominees. Now, I am also looking at third parties, but there's nothing really there that stands out to me either. I mean, I think this will be a two-party system for a very long time, and that being said, there's not much worth into me personally putting into looking at third-party candidates.
Okay, for these next set of questions, they're more guesses, so if you don't know the answer, just guess. How many workers in the United States would you say earn $10 an hour or less? Also, how many workers in the United States earn more than $250K in a year?
Wow. Those are two totally drastic different earnings. Two probably very different numbers as well. To be honest with you, I don't know this for sure. But my guess would be for the very first question of 10 per hour or less, that would probably be, I'm going to guess by percentage, maybe 30 to 45% of Americans, because those are the jobs that we have most of. And as for the 250K per hour or whatever, I would say that has to be more around 10%. 10%, give or take.
What is the median income? The median income is essentially the midpoint between the highest earners and the lowest earners for a household in the United States. Has the median income risen or declined over the past 5 years?
I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the second question. I believe it's mostly declined in the past 5 years. I'm pretty sure it has, looking at just the drastic income disparity that we're facing as a nation right now. I mean, just looking at that, it's very it's an intuitive answer. It's obvious that it's gone down and that people are earning less. However, now, I mean, we're seeing the economy really pick up, and it's gradual. It is stacked. It is not necessarily something to be extremely happy about. It's nothing to throw a party over, but as far as the median income, the actual number, I'm not for sure on. And I'm not even going to take a guess.
Okay. What percentage of American households who receive public assistance, for example, like SNAP benefits, TANF, or Medicaid, have at least one person working?
Oh my. Well, to be honest here, you got to look. I mean, you got to understand that not all people on welfare are totally jobless and lazy.
Right.
That's probably about half of it. But the other half are actually hardworking individuals that may have at least a child or two that are working hard, not working in a very good job, try their best, and maybe even working another job. To be honest with you, I don't know. And I'm going to guess around, actually, maybe 5 to 15%. I know that's a broad range, but I'm pretty sure it's got to be within that range.
Okay, last question. What are the 3 largest expenditures in the federal budget?
The 3 largest expenditures in the federal budget. Is this discretionary or non-discretionary? Is it something that you do a mandate for via legislation, or is it something that you can do with the Congress? Because there's 2 totally different budgets.
Let's go with the first one.
Okay, so honestly, to God, somebody who would not even guess this, it's going to be healthcare, such as Medicare, Medicaid,